Hear me, I will give you my humble submission about tithe. Tithe was the lifestyle of somebody called Abraham. Abraham went to war, and when he went to war, he won. His family alone went to fight that war, not the nation, his family. He fought war against 3 nations, and he won and rescued his brother. And then he saw Melchizedek, which in the Old Testament represented Jesus Christ. And the Bible said he gave him tithe of all. Melchizedek didn't ask for it, he gave. It means that he knew what to do without being told what to do. He didn't need a law. God looked at Abraham in Genesis 18, thereabout, I think 18, 19 or so, and said, "For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall what? Keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken of him." God boasted about Abraham that I know him. He will train his children well because he knows how to handle issues. Nobody asked him for tithe, he gave tithe. And you know, it was not recorded that Isaac gave tithe. It was not recorded. But Abraham died before Jacob was born, and Jacob knew about tithe. Jacob said, "Whatever you give me, I'll give you 1/10 of it." Where did he know it from? I know Abraham, that he would train his children. Tithing was Abraham's lifestyle, but he does it and God is happy about it. It's out of Jacob that Israel came. Israel was expected to do that, but I'm sure something went wrong somewhere, and so it didn't work that way. God now had to make Abraham's lifestyle a law. Abraham's lifestyle became a law. In Galatians chapter 3 from verse 18, "For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise, but God gave it to who? Abraham by promise. And wherefore then served the law? It was added because of transgression." So because they were not living the life that is expected them to live, which should be their lifestyle, God looked at them and said, "So should I teach you ABC, how you should live your life too? That when you earn, take 10% for God." It's like they are in school and they are being taught the lifestyle they should live. Can't you see that is annoying? When you wake up, brush your teeth. When you wake up, sweep the ground. Is it not annoying? But that is what started happening. That is why when God was giving them the law, he was already angry. "Wherefore then served the law? It was added because of transgression, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made." If your children do the right thing, will you write when you wake up, sweep the ground? So while God was writing, giving them the law, he was angry with them. Verse 24. "Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster, to bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith." Abraham gave tithe by faith, but after that faith is come, we are no longer under a schoolmaster. All this debate about should Christian pay tithe is a stupid debate. Should somebody tell me what I should do to my father? It shows that we are bastards. We don't even know anything about our father. When Abraham gave tithe, was it a law? And let me tell you, 10% is the least that should come from you as a child of God. You are in business with God because he owns you, and he has business on earth. Jesus saw a woman drop something in a bowl in the church, and he called the disciples. What did he tell them? He has given all her living. That means he has given 100%. He was happy that she did it. What does it mean? She put value on God, that God deserves all. So even everything I have is not much, but I give it all to God. So in the time of grace, the name is tithe. It could even go beyond 10%. Is somebody hearing me? All our public transport, the buses, what do we call them? Trotro. Do you know where Trotro started from? Do you know the genesis of Trotro? In the days beyond independence, it was 3 pence. 3 pence is tro. Then after independence, our cities was slightly higher than pound sterling. So 3 pence became 2.5 pesos. And that is tro. And you know the 3, those who are of my age, they know, it's a silver coin. In those days, the buses that we enter, that's what they charge. That is the name of Trotro. That is where Trotro started from. The mates, you stand, Accra, Accra, Trot. All the buses were Trotro. Anywhere you are going, Tro. So that is how now you know Trotro. How much do you pay when you enter a bus from Carnation to Kokrobite? 10 cedis. But why are you calling it Trotro still? You get what I'm saying? So tithe is just a name. So when people are arguing, oh, we are not supposed to pay tithe. Tithe is just the name to represent what you give out of your earning to God. It started with 10%. There are people who are giving more than 10%. and they still call it tithe. Just like you pay more than tro in the tro and you still call it tro. So it is the first name that they used to call a thing that rests on that thing. So people want to go and buy detergent. Please, I want to buy Omo. And then they will give him clean soft. Please, oh yes, I bought Omo last week. Bring it, let's see. This is, but this is not Omo. So we call it Omo. But that cleans off or something is Omo. Why? Because it started with Omo. I want to buy Milo, and then they gave you some other one. Which one do they give you? Rich Choco. He said, I bought Milo. He said, but this is not Milo. He said, but Milo is what we know, because the Milo is the first name for that kind of a thing. Tithe is about giving to God that which is honorable. Somewhere in the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 8. If you offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? If you offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person, saith the Lord of hosts? Even me as a human being, sometimes I want to give somebody something. Then when I look at it, I say, oh no, this one will look like insult. Then I organize something that he will appreciate, that will look honorable. What you give shows how much you respect the person. Is somebody listening to me? So it's not necessarily about tithe, but tithe is the bottom line, because much more than that. This tithe thing we are talking about is a lifestyle. It should be something that is part of you. You don't think about it at all. Whatever comes into my hand, God is part of it. Just as my life, God is part of it. That's why I'm not sick. My money, God is part of it. That's why it will never waste. Did I say something? That is what Jesus was telling the people in Matthew chapter 23, verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for we pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, which is judgment, mercy, faith. You see, judgment should be a lifestyle. Mercy should be a lifestyle. Faith should be a lifestyle. He said, these ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other one too undone. So tithe should have been a lifestyle. Like, you are merciful, you have faith, you have sound judgment, so you also give tithe. He said you shouldn't leave the tithe. You should do these ones and not leave the other one undone. Be a balanced person. That's what Jesus was telling them. So he didn't say, oh, there is no more tithe, oh, don't give tithe. That is not what he's saying. He's saying you should have graduated from still seeing it as law. You shouldn't struggle in it, because in the days of grace, what God expects of us is higher than in the days of the law. In the days of grace, he has died, he has poured his blood, he has resurrected. So he expects something more than what the law says do, but just that he won't make it a law. That's why I said those that will give willingly collect. But he expects that you see him that God sumbo mami, sumbo pa mami. Inti mi ye bibia mawa, mi di makume nyina na me ya mawa. Hebrews chapter 10 from verse 28 to 29. He that despiseth Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Despised the law, died. Of how much sorrow punishment suppose ye shall he be thought worthy, who had trodden under foot the Son of God, and has counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified as an unholy thing, and had done despite unto the Spirit of grace, as despised grace, trampled down on the blood of Jesus as nothing. He said even Moses' time, when no blood has been poured, people who transgress, they died. How much more in the time of grace that you will misbehave and you think you go scot-free? So in the period of grace, we are expected to be serious more than in the period of the law. God says, I remove the law, but let me see how you will behave.